explain to us more what this process means and what should we expect?
Well, for those who suffered from the past, this process means a lot. Every action, every quest for accountability means a lot. Justice is a cathartic process, so this action is therefore essential for the American victims of the blast, but also for all the other victims. So what to expect? Answers about the network of corruption which led to the port blast.
Are there any timelines we should expect? And if so, what are they?
Well, we will make sure that things move swiftly and rapidly. So it should be moving quickly.
How would this impact the judiciary process in Lebanon?
Well, the claim will for sure force TGS to disclose Spectrum's communications with various third parties who are all relevant to the investigations in Lebanon. And the investigations are currently stalled by obstruction. And this additional evidence we could get through this case will help the judiciary in Lebanon and outside of Lebanon to assign individual responsibilities and hence hold the perpetrators accountable.
How do you explain the persistent problem of impunity in Lebanon?
Well, many people believe that the problem of impunity in Lebanon is only due to the muzzling of the judiciary and tactics to circumvent accountability. But impunity in Lebanon is also very largely due to the fact that European countries and their financial systems are either passively helping or actively protecting those who launder corruption money. The fact is that corruption of politicians and their entourage, it touches on questions of national interest in countries. If we talk, for example, about Switzerland and Mr. Salami's case, the investigation have shown that over $500 million have transited through Swiss bank accounts. So how come Swiss banks have not raised any red flags? Because this touches on questions of national interest for Switzerland.
Moving on, the foundation was set up to help civil society seek justice and circumvent the muzzling of the judiciary. How is this compatible with the lack of political will of the Western world?
Well, the thing is that although European countries had very little political incentive to tackle corruption and corruption money of these politicians, there is just enough separation of power between the judiciary and the executive power to make sure that when they are presented with reliable evidence mixed with some media pressure and exposure, then prosecutors would have no other choice but to launch investigations, regardless of what the Lebanese judiciary would decide to do or not.
The next question was, how can we push Lebanese authorities to cooperate?
We don't need them to cooperate. If you look at the port blast, for example, there are today sufficient links with foreign jurisdictions like France, the UK, and now the United States with this claim to initiate court proceedings in these countries and hence to circumvent the muzzling of the Lebanese judiciary.
Some people argue that these are political processes. How do you answer to that?
It's probably only those who have not lost a child, a mother, a spouse who will say so. For those who suffered the barbaric impact of corruption, they have to hold to processes like the claim you are filing to stay alive. It's only politicians who entertain impunity and mercy will be bold enough to become again the victims.
Judiciary processes like the one of Riyad Salame aren't getting anywhere. Why do you continue working? Most importantly, why should the Lebanese people keep the faith that accountability is actually achievable?
You know, if it was a purely rational decision, we wouldn't have started this quest. Why would anyone venture in such a corrupt environment to tackle corruption when it's actually supported not only by the politicians themselves, but by a fringe of the population and the private sector who are benefiting from it? So it wasn't a rational decision. We just could not remain passive, watching kids being taken out of school and people searching for food in garbage bins when the political elite had massively enriched itself to their detriment.